Jerry, and since it's Easter season, I'm going to share a couple of stories from this book about what happened at Easter and what happened after Easter. The first one is Easter morning good news, and it's from the story is told in all four of the books of the Bible. Sunday morning, the sun peeked over the trees. The sky was filled with pink and orange light. As soon as Mary Magdalene and her friends awoke up, they remembered what had happened 2 days before. Jesus had died on a cross. They wiped tears from their eyes. They missed Jesus very much, but now it was time to anoint Jesus' body, which means to put oil on the body. And the women walked quietly to the tomb that held Jesus' body. There they are walking along to the tomb, very worried, very concerned. And then, when they arrived, the ground began to shake beneath their feet, an earthquake, and they hung on to one another very nervously. And then Mary and the other women were very afraid. They held tightly to one another, and everything became still, and the women slowly stepped closer to the tomb. A huge stone was gone. Somebody had rolled it away. The women looked into the tomb and gasped. Jesus' body was gone. The women blinked their eyes. Who's that? They wondered. An angel dressed in dazzling white. Don't be afraid, the angel said. You are looking for Jesus, but he's not here. Jesus is alive. Go and tell his disciples. Jesus is risen. And that's what we say on Easter, isn't it? He is risen. Mary and her friends rushed to tell the other disciples, and suddenly Jesus appeared. Greetings, he said. The women reached out to touch him. Jesus, it's you, Mary exclaimed. Her friends jumped and clapped their hands. What are the things that make you jump and clap your hands when you're excited about something? They were excited. Jesus smiled at them and he said, Go tell my disciples I'm alive. The women raced down the road to share the good news. Jesus is risen. Well, that's a story that happened on Easter morning. And a few days later, on the road to Emmaus, there were two men walking along. And they were talking to one another, and one said to the other, Do you think Jesus is really alive? Cleopas kicked a rock in the road. I don't know, his friend shrugged. The two men walked along the road to Emmaus. You get out and walk in these times? Where is it you like to walk? These men were going to Emmaus, and as they walked along, somebody joined them. What are you talking about? The stranger asked. Cleopas sighed. Are you the only person in Jerusalem who doesn't know about Jesus? Who? The man asked. Jesus of Nazareth, our friend and teacher. He taught about God's love and forgiveness, Cleopas explained. He healed people. The religious leaders didn't like him, and so Jesus was killed on a cross. But today, Cleopas's friend interrupted, some women went to Jesus' tomb. It was empty, and an angel told them that Jesus is alive. Is that possible? The stranger smiled. He taught them what the scriptures had said about God's Messiah as they walked along. And the three men walked together. They talked about Jesus the whole way and all he had done. It was dark when they reached Emmaus. Please stay and eat with us, Cleopas said to the man. At supper, the man blessed the bread and broke it. Today we call that taking communion, don't we? Suddenly, Cleopas' eyes grew wide. He realized the man was Jesus. Jesus smiled at them, and then he disappeared. Jesus was here, Cleopas's heart pounded. He's alive, his friend shouted. They jumped up from the table and they raced back to Jerusalem that very same night. They couldn't wait to tell the disciples that they had seen Jesus. I don't even think they had flashlights in those days, do you?